Hey, welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great Monday, and thank you so much for joining me talking all things Masters of the Universe. Today on the channel, guys, we're going to be looking at Andre the Giant as Titus, part of Wave 7 of the Masters of the WWE Universe. But first, if you are new to my channel or first time watching, I hope you will subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone hits that like button or the thumbs up button. And thank you guys so much for doing that. It helps my channel out a lot. Of course, hit that notification bell when you upload new videos. And of course, share this video who has a passion and a love for collecting all things Masters of the Universe. So without further ado, let's take a look at Andre the Giant as Titus, the 8th wonder of WWE Eternia. All right, in the packaging only. Okay, so here he is. Of course, we'll compare this version of Andre to his very recent Superstars version of the Origins line. Okay, but here's Titus right here. Now, on the channel, of course, we have reviewed Waves 1 through 6 on the channel. If you wish to go back to check it out. The Gray Skull ring as well. And half of Wave 7, which was Junkyard Dog. Right there. And Sergeant Slaughter. But we still have, on Tuesday, we'll be looking at the final figure of Wave 7, which is Bret the Hitman Hart, which is supposed to be representing as Triclops in this line here. But on to Andre here. There he is. Of course, once again, we have the Master of the WWE Universe right there. You have the blue rocks blasting around it. Here's old Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of WWE Eternia. Of course, he's supposed to be Titus in this particular line here. Very cool. And we'll talk about, Titus and Megator. Or at least, yeah, mostly Titus, but we'll add Megator as well. All right. But there's Titus, or Titus Andre the Giant. There he is. Now, of course, with Andre, with both this version and the Superstar line, he's of course a giant. So they were not able to put his legs onto the figure here. So the legs are right there. So you have to if you have this version of Andre from this version or the Superstars line, you have to plug in his legs to, I think he's stands like 7 inches tall. So Mattel, I think that was kind of creative. So they had to do that for Andre the Giant here. You have to actually plug in his feet here to have the figure fully standing. And I believe it's like almost 7 inches tall, I believe. But he looks great. You get that Titus. Well, he has the A for for Andre right there, but I know Titus has that G. But you can see him in front of the Gray Skull ring right there, and like the other figures of this amazing crossover event, he does come with his own unique collector booklet right there. All right, got a good face sculpt right there. Looks really good. All right. Of course, you have this little Gray Skull stoned wall right here, because you don't have, to block off the fact that he has no feet right there, right? Because the other ones do right there. So they had to add this little stone Gray Skull wall right here in front of his feet here. All right. Whereas the back of it right here, you see him taking on Hogan right there. And there he is. They each have this like any Origins figure, you can snap the legs on. It's the same thing you do with Andre. There he is. All right, he comes with no weapons at all. It doesn't come with that grabber, which is kind of a little bit disappointing. I think they should have added that grabber accessory, from the original Titus, line figure. But there's Hitman. Of course, we looked at Junkyard Dog, and Sergeant Slaughter right there. And just notice a couple other guys in the background. There's it looks like Warrior, but I'm not too sure who the other guy is behind him. I'm not too sure who that is. Because I don't recognize him from the other waves of figures of the guy in the orange and yellow. Sorry, it's not focusing properly, everybody. Alright. Alright, now speaking, alright, so there he is. Right there's old Andre right there. Alright. Of course, he is representing Titus in this particular crossover event. What's very, very interesting is that, with both crossover events, I'm talking about this WWE crossover event and the Turtles of Gray Skull, which has given us a Megator Krang, and I have that version right here. We don't have, so right here, so we have the two giants in a way in these crossover forms here, but we don't actually have vintage Origins, Titus, or Megator. Now, will we get those eventually? I think as a collector, or I think we should. I think we can. I mean, I don't see why not. I think I would love that. I'm sure everyone else would love to get a true Titus, Origins, figure of, and Megator as well. So it's kind of funny that we have, Titus and Megator in their crossover, lines here, but not the actual Titus and Megator. So I think, without a question, at some point, Mattel will release a real vintage Origins Titus and Megator. And speaking of Titus, all right. So here he is in the packaging. And back in the day, came out in 1988. There's old Titus right there. Here he is. And here's that grabber accessory that he came with. Something that, Andre could have, had right there as well. You can see, there he is. And I would love to get, an Origins-based version with the realistic hair, everything. He was only released in Europe, so he's very rare right there. You can see right there in the booklet right there, thanks to Pixel Dan and Dark Horse Comics, that he was only released in Europe for the most part, okay? And he stood a massive 15 inches tall right there. So get a true Titus, vintage Origins figure with Megator would be absolutely amazing. I would absolutely love to get that. And I'm sure a lot of you, or all of you, would love to get that as well. And there's a little fun fact of Titus right there. There he is. There's him. There he is in the packaging right there. All right, but back on to Andre. But I do like the fact that they pay tribute to a really cool figure, a very rare figure. So far, this is the only Titus figure, in a way, that we have so far in the Origins line. But I have no doubt, at some point, Mattel will release the actual Titus and Megator to us collectors. All right, let me know about in the comments. How you feel about that. Do you want a vintage Origins Titus in your collection? I mean, I'm sure you would love that. In Megator. All right, but speaking of Andre, he looks great. I love the A. They kind of representing the Andre name right there. But of course, Titus had the G for, I think, for giant right there. But there he is. Now, speaking of Andre, I do have his Superstars line version right here. I'll put them next to each other. There they are. So some slight differences between the two figures here, of course, especially around the face. Now, this version of Andre, he has a much more slender, elongated face here to me. No sideburns, okay? So maybe this is a much younger version of Andre, okay? Of course, Andre is a legendary Hall of Fame wrestler. I mean, everyone probably knows about Andre the Giant, He's one of the, giant men in WWE, okay? And here is his Superstars line. You can see a much rounder look to him. And he's got more of a, almost like 5 o'clock shadow, like some dirt on the chin right there. He's got the long sideburns right there. And him, this version of Andre the Giant, and we will review him again when we look at this particular wave. I think this is wave 10? Wave 8 of the Superstars line. Like this version, they had to remove his feet off the figure to get him in the proper packaging, the proper single-carded packaging. Okay, that's why they had to do that for both versions, so they can fit him in the line here. Okay, but if you prefer, like I said with the Origins line, you can mix and match. If you prefer this head sculpt for this version of Andre, you can do that, and vice versa. You can change things around. You can change the arms around, the boots, is whatever you wish, You can create some really cool figures of any of these amazing figures throughout all the Origins line here. But very, very cool. And I gotta say, with both figures here, I have them here, it's very surprising, but this version of Andre is not that heavy, okay? It's there's not much, it's like almost like the same weight as any other, Origins WWE, line. But this version of the Superstars Andre it's got some weight to it. I'm very surprised. Okay. Of course, with the Superstars line, you also get that soft, good fabric outfit here, and you can see the style is the same. Andre was known for the one shoulder, strap, with his character from the WWE, and they did that the same thing with his Titus look right here. Now it looks like, for the most part, if you wish to switch over to one side, because there's a peg right there on this side, if you wish to go with the other strap, I guess from this move it over, I think you can do that. All right. But very cool, very cool. I'm happy to have Andre in my collection, and I do hope that at some point, down the Origins line, vintage Origins line, we will get a true Titus, figure and Megator figure for the Origins line. I think that'd be an amazing, especially if you have your Eternia, play set out. You can have these two gigantic monsters, fighting with each other. I mean, it'd be really, really cool. It's a really cool display. And like I said, it's kind of funny that we do have a Megator and Titus, figures, but only in the crossover line with, Krang here and Andre here, but not a true, representation of these amazing two figures in real vintage Origins line. So I do hope, and I'm sure you guys do hope, that we eventually get these two incredible, very rare, because they were only released for the most part, or maybe all of it, in Europe. So it'd be really cool for to get these two iconic giants in Origins line for our collection. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and feelings about that. Do you about Titus and Megator in the actual Master Universe Origins vintage line. Okay, so let me know about that, how you feel about that. So, but there you go, guys. There's a look at Andre right there, and like there he is from side to side right there, right there. All right. Yeah, one thing, like I said before, I wish they would have included that grabber item or weapon that the vintage Titus figure had. I think that would have been a nice, item to have with Andre here. I guess I just noticed something else really fast. I'm looking, and I don't know. Okay, it's right there. Okay. I was about to say, I don't see, because you can see in the artwork right here, he's got this visor or like crown, over his forehead right here, but I don't see that crown, on the figure itself. So, but it's right, it is there. It's actually in between his feet right there. It's kind of a shame they didn't actually have it on the figure itself. I guess it wouldn't be able to fit the figure in the packaging. All right. The one thing I want to close up here real fast, everybody, but one thing I want to say about the WWE crossover here, the Masters of the WWE Universe, I think the one thing, I've been having a blast, reviewing these figures here, because some of these figures are very, very cool. But the one thing I have noticed, and I just barely, well, I've noticed it, but I never mentioned it, and I think a lot of you probably already have, is the fact that this line, unlike the Turtles of Grayskull line, now I don't know how you feel about that line, but this line right here, okay, I think the one thing that it failed to do, of course, is to include actual Masters of the Universe figures in this particular crossover event. There is no He-Man, there's no Teela, there's no Man-at-Arms, or Skeletor, none of that. It's just pure wrestling figures in the world of Eternia, with, Eternia-based armor and weapons. Now, had this line here, which is now done, I don't know this, it would have helped out or not, but I want your thoughts on this. I feel like if this line, this crossover event line, actually included actual He-Man figures, because this line, the Master Universe Origins line, maybe because the actual Origins line of Master is now picking up now on, I don't know, like we had that line going now that maybe, I don't, it's kind of weird. Like, why don't we have actual He-Man figures, actual He-Man, Teela, all those guys intermixed with this line here. Okay, I think if they did that, get He-Man, like a cool ring gear for He-Man or something like that, or Teela, gonna have He-Man with the WWE Championship or whatever, if you actually put He-Man in this particular line, like 2 He-Man figures, Master Universe figures, and 2 wrestling figures, like they do with the Turtles of Grayskull, I think this line could have gone a lot longer than it did. I really do. So let me know your thoughts, if you can, if you want to. You don't have to. Your thoughts about that in the comments below, about if they actually put actual He-Man Masters of the Universe figures in this crossover event. Do you think the line could have gone longer, a lot further than it did? I think because after this wave, there's one more wave left. And that's it. And that wave, which is funny because I want to talk. There's a rumor out there, but because there's only 3 figures that were released for that wave, okay, and I have all 3 of those figures. And also we're gonna look at that Snake Mountain ring as well, which has 2 more figures included. Okay, so there's basically just like 5 figures left of this entire line here. But that Wave 8 line, I heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. Okay. There was a 4th figure that was produced and created and was about to be shipped out with the other 3 figures of that line. And like 2 of those, like it was Stone Cold, it was China, and Rey Mysterio Jr. And so, and the 4th figure, believe it or not, I heard a rumor it was supposed to be the Big Show. Okay. And he was supposed to be the Megator Origins figure of that line, of this line here. Okay. He was all ready to go. He's already being shipped out, but I think his name is Paul White or Big Show. Quit the WWE and moved to AEW. And so by doing that, they had to take his figure off the shipping, schedule. Like, nope, we can't put him out there. We can't promote him because he's on one of our competitor shows, so we cannot, promote him anymore. So out there right now, there is, I don't know, I'm sure like any person who works at Mattel probably has his own version of Megator, Big Show. That's a rumor. I don't know if there's any truth about that. Let me know. I'm kind of curious about that. So there was a 4th figure, that's going to be released for Wave 8 of this particular line here. And it was supposed to be Big Show as Megator. That had to be pulled from the shelves or pulled from the shipping date for us collectors. So that's kind of very interesting, about that, hearing that kind of stuff, that, there was actually a 4th figure that was done but had to be pulled. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about this particular wave. Do you think that, like I said, if they actually put actual He-Man figures in this crossover events, you can with some different, gear, wrestling gear, you can come up with some really cool figures because, the He-Man line was in Origins. I mean, they were starting their lineup, So let me know in the comments below if they would have had more He-Man figures in this particular line here, would have gone further than 8 waves. All right. But there you go, guys. There's a look at Andre. All right. There he is. And of course, you can actually, as I'm seeing this, you can remove the armor here, and you can actually see underneath the armor his vintage black singlet outfit right there. So for the most part, you can have yourself an actual vintage Andre the Giant figure with no Megator armor here. All right, guys. I'd like to take the time now, of course, to thank my subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys will hit that notification bell when I upload new videos. And tomorrow we're looking at the final figure of Wave 7, and that is Bret the Hitman Hart, the Excellent of Execution, which is, I saved the best for last because he's supposed to be representing like Triclops, and he, of course, if you've been following me for some time now, Triclops is my favorite figure of this line here. So we'll take a look at Bret the Hitman Hart right there. He looks really cool. There he is. All right, on the channel on Tuesday. Don't forget on Tuesday that Megator, Night Stalker, my apologies everybody, is up for pre-sale or pre-order, up for Mattel Creations exclusive. I hope everyone took advantage of the summer sale on Mattel Creations. If you picked up any new figures in your collection from Masterverse or the 4-man He-Man pack from Origins. All right. So I hope everybody has a great Monday, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Take care, and have a good one, everybody.